Good morning. Welcome to build day. I believe it's 29. So we're just getting going. We got the Kaylee out here. We've gotten our doctor's appointment taken care of, and our first piece of business is this here. I'm just out here taking a look at. This is what's causing the problem on the corn hallway. All the wind that we get comes from that direction right in through here, and it's coming in here, hitting this, and it's got it all pushed out that way. And you can see the gap up there at the top compared to the bottom. So I need to get in here and push this wall over this way. We're going to try doing it by hand first. And if that doesn't work, we're going to get the sledgehammer out. Now I'm looking at the gap here. You can see the gap here, how wide it is. You start looking here and it looks like it's a lot smaller. It should be about the same size. What it is, it's still the same size. The bottom's clear back there. It's this whole top portion is pushed. So with that section being bowed out, it's causing all the other walls to lean. So we need to get in here to this wall and push. Okay, that was a hell of a lot quicker and easier than I thought it was going to be. Though I do need to get in here and buckle up some corn. Looks like I've had a couple staples break loose. But now I've kind of got everything leaning the other way. But this is the back corner I was just showing you on the outside. We came in and moved this corner over that way a little bit, and then moved this wall over a couple of inches. And as soon as I did that, everything straightened right up. Now I just got to get all the corn kind of back into place, because with it leaning, all the corn shifted. There's a little bit of cleanup in here I got to do now. But this project effectively is done. Done and over with. So our next, yeah, I gotta get that fixed. Yeah, it looks like one of the staples let loose there on that wall. I'll use a zip tie. Zip ties are good for fixing just about anything. But our next project for today is the ponds. I've got to get the dye mixed up, get it into the ponds, and then we're going to drag the hose around. We're going to start filling ponds. We're going to get that water going. Well, the process begins. We're filling the ponds. The red coloring that you're seeing in there, all the ponds have it, is the fluorescent dye I'm using. What I am using, well, let's talk about fluorescent water dyes here for just a moment. You have some time, you know, because we really do care about you. We want to make sure you're using the right stuff. In fact, we care about you so much, we just noticed the lens was dirty, so we wiped your face for you. Just like your mama used to do when you were a little tot. We've been running, oh God, ponds with fluorescent coloring in it for years now. When we originally started out, we had like one pond, and we used 2x6s for the frames, you know, and the ponds were about like that size there, you know, same as what's in the clown room. For the dye, originally I had thought about using tonic water. Tonic water will glow underneath blacklight. Problem is, it has to be straight tonic water, and to fill a pond like that with tonic water, extremely expensive. The other way to do it, and I just saw a how-to that a Hellmouth did years ago. I know it was years ago because he had more hair in it, about making water glow, and he used the marker pens, the fluorescent marker pens, you know, to make the water glow. That way works too, but when you're doing ponds, no place in town sells enough fluorescent marker pens to make that amount of water glow. So I did some research originally, came up with a product called Atomic Glow. It turns the water kind of a greenish yellow color, and it will glow greenish yellow. The stuff was a military concept. Apparently our naval aerators had dye packets in their survival gear. If they bailed out over water, when they hit the water, they'd pop the dye packets and it would make the water around them fluoresce for a certain amount of time. That way they could be found at night easier. It worked good in the early ponds. You know, I mean, the early ponds were 25 gallons at the most, you know, of water. And 5 bottles would make them glow. But you're paying $5 a bottle for it. At least that's what it was back then, if I remember. It was around $5 a bottle. When I started increasing in size, in depth, and everything, it would have ran me well over $100 just for dye. Actually several $100 using the Atomic Glow. So I did some research again on my own, and there's a company out that does fluorescent paints. A lot of you guys that do the fluorescent work will use them. It's called Wildfire. Well, they also have a selection of water dyes. Semi-expensive. You're paying $75 a bottle, but you're getting a fairly big bottle of it. And a little bit is supposed to go a long way. Now, Wildfire, their paints are great. If you're doing fluorescent work, they have excellent paints. They are pricey. That's the only drawback with the paints. The water dyes are garbage. We tried that 2 different years, and we tried 2 different colors. And it was just throwing my money out the window. All it did was dye the water a different color. You know, instead of being clear, it was red or greenish yellow. The water did not fluoresce at all. So I was asking people in chat, you know, for recommendations, and they came up with, you know, the liner, the ink pens, and the some of the other stuff I've already mentioned. And Diablo came up with these dye tablets, test dye. They're a plumber's thing, and what they are is just a pill. You can get them in 3 different colors. The blue and the green work best. The blue will only turn the water blue. But plumbers use it for testing for leaks in drain systems. So I thought, okay, I'll give these a try. I picked up 3 bottles of them. No, 4 bottles of them. I'm down to my last 2, actually 1.5 now. But this stuff works great. Now what I do with the ponds the size they are, is I take some warm water, put it in a blender, and I drop 20 tablets in. Mix it up real good until all the tablets are dissolved, and then I just pour them in the ponds. That's what I've done with each of the ponds. There's 20 tablets worth there. And then you just add water and let it mix. You know, and then with the pumps going, they'll mix just fine. But stuff works really, really good. Now the reason why I'm using the blender and warm water to dissolve the tablets is these tablets, if you just drop them in the pond, they'll dissolve partially, but not all the way. And you'll still end up with you know, when you go to drain the pond, you'll still have tablets at the bottom of your pond. They need water flow going over the top of them and moving them around in order for them to dissolve all the way. So I use a blender. It breaks them down and gets them to do their thing. But anyway, you'll get a look at this under black light a little bit later, hopefully. But today our process is filling ponds. This is the lowest end in the system. So it's naturally filling up first, as always. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes or so. Ponds are filling. Still on the first one. As you can see, there's still a lot of bottom showing. This end of the pool hasn't gotten very full yet. That one looks nice and full down there. This is going to take a while. So while these are filling, or that one is filling, and that's our largest pond out of the lot, I am going to head over, and we've got the witch to do, and I got a couple of quick repairs in the corn to do after moving the wall panels back into place. Yeah, tripping over the hose here. So I'm going to do the repair in the corn, and then we're going to hop over into the witch and start hanging some lights up in the witch, at least get that one lit. And I'll check the ponds as we go. All 3 ponds are filled, and the sneak thief, Kaylee, is at her tricks again. Same as last year, she has a fetish for anything that's floating, especially those right there. They're the ping pong eyeballs. She loves those. We ended up having to buy 3 new packets of those this year because last year she destroyed 3 packets of them. She figured out if they're close enough to the edge, she could stick her paw in there, bat them around enough to get them by the edge where she can reach in and pick them up and crunch them. She loves her ping pong balls. But we've got all 3 ponds filled. I have not tested the pumps yet, and probably not going to be able to today. Sue Ann is not feeling well. She's been sleeping most of the day. She was up all night with issues. And it takes 2 of us to test the pumps. I need 1 person out, where we plug them in at, and 1 person in here. The person in here watches everything. If there's a problem, he can say something. The person outside can unplug them and shut everything off instantly. I could do it by myself, but if there was a problem in here, I wouldn't notice it until I came all the way in from where we plug them in at to find it, and I'd have to turn around and go back. By then we could have some damage done, or at worst, drain half of a pond. Especially with the pump for that thing, it can do it too. So we're going to have to wait until Sue Ann's feeling a little bit better. But we did have 1 problem here. When I put the liner in, I made sure it was tucked up next to the base of the board, so there was no hills or slopes or anything. And while in the process of putting stuff into the pond, I ended up with a slope right there. And we'll zoom in. You'll notice the plastic is up and over the top there and down on the side there. That's where the hill was, and it actually pulled it loose off the staples. So it was actually folded down enough, and we'll zoom you all the way back out. Make sure to zoom you all the way back out. It was folded down enough that the pond was starting to drain a little bit. So I had to go in and go waiting to fix that. Then the other issue we had, I knew it was going to be an issue, is the pump on this one, which is right there. It was, the ground here has a, oh, it's right next to the garden, and there's a, a drainage gutter right around the front of the garden. And the pump was sitting right over that, not on the grass, so it was sitting above the ground a couple of inches. And when I turn that thing on, it's going to vibrate all goddamn day, and I thought I'd create a problem. So I put there's a clear rubber hose going from the PVC pipe to the pump. And I just cut a bigger piece of clear pipe and put on there to join the 2, and that lowered the pump down to where it was sitting on the ground. Well, those are the only 2 issues I've had, other than that little thing, trying to get stuff out of the ponds. Now, as far as other work goes, we got the cornhole done. I even went in, and a lot of the wiring for the lights still needed to be zip tied into place, and that sort of thing. I did that while that pond, the biggest of the ponds, was filling. It took about 45 minutes or so to fill that, roughly. These went a lot quicker. This one was about 20 minutes, and that one was about 15 minutes or so, roughly. So I just stayed here with them, and Kaylee sat here and drooled over the stuff floating around in them. So I didn't get over to the witch at all. For now, am going to go get my shoes back on, and we are going to get over to the witch, and we're going to start screwing around with that. Okay, guys. End of the day walkthrough. It's going on about 8 o'clock. I'm calling it quits early. On purpose. I need to get inside. I'll explain why maybe during the wrap up. But witch's area is done.
Double spoil and fire burn and cauldron bubble. Round about the cauldron go, in the poison entrails throw. The venom seeping got, boil thou first in the charmed pot.
But it's up and working, and the witches are running off their own sensor. And she even put one of those skeletal birds in here. But witches display's done, ready to go. The only other area I have to do yet is right here. And I need to get lights up on the weapons, on Witchy Poo. I need to get hay in there, and I need lights there. Now these wall panels, here, I'm going to turn on my overhead light so you can see, have shields and swords on them too. I am not going to put any lights on them. I don't want anything that might detract from the projection, and I'm hoping the projection will give enough light for people, and there'll be enough ambient light with the spider and bat things I've got up there. Then, you know, people should be able to see them anyway. So, and I need to get candles in the candelabra yet. That display just looks so goddamn empty. It needs more in there. But I don't know what to put in there is the only problem. So I'll probably just go with that. Put some lights on it, spread the hay, get the candles in the candelabra. I don't know. I'll tackle that tomorrow. Hey guys, end of the day wrap up. I'm going to make it a quick one. Did good. Got almost all our goals met. Only thing we really didn't get done that I planned on wanting to do today was the pumps for the water fountains, and that was because Swin wasn't up to it. But we got the water in all the ponds. I got some slight maintenance in there that needed to be done once we got the water in. Stuff I didn't notice ahead of time. We made it over into the witch, got it totally done and ready to go. We cleaned up the courtyard and the front steps a little bit, and we got the cornhole fixed, which ended up being a 10 to 15 minute project, if that. Now I got in there, one of the braces needed to be replaced, all the wiring and stuff needed to be zip tied, secured. So that got done. Like the last segment, last thing I have to do is this in here. And it's basically lighting and hay. And then this will be done. So it'll be done tomorrow. And then the major part of setup is finished. Then it's all the little fine-tuned little things. I've got, you know, you can see the shadow there on the sheet. That's all my wiring and stuff. I gotta go through and get that cleaned up, get the zip ties cleaned up. I gotta do that throughout the whole haunt. I'm gonna have Morgan, once I'm done with my lighting, I'll have Morgan come out. She'll do a garbage run, she'll do a sweep, and I'll have her rake the trail on the grass all the way through. You know, pick up the mess and what have you. I've got to get the curtains hung in the transitions from display to display. You know, just little things like that. Oh, I've got to run one more power line after I get done with here, all the way out to the front entrance for the new donation box, which won't get put out until late Wednesday, or actually late on Thursday after mail comes. So, you know, we'll do that. Let's see what else. But anyway, I've got a lot of little projects, and I'll try to run you through them or whatever tomorrow. As I've been saying off and on throughout the series, I don't know how much footage you're going to get between now and when we open Thursday night for VIP night. I might take a Wednesday night and start filming the 2017 walkthrough, which will be up sometime next week after we're closed. But now, as far as the reason why I'm going inside, Swan hasn't been feeling well the last couple of days. Last night she had another one of her attacks So like the same one that put her in the hospital back in June with the twisted bowel. Today it is really bad. She is not doing good. I've brought up the fact that I could close down the haunt and we can cancel for this season because of her health. Because we're thinking about maybe going up to the hospital. And if we go up to the hospital, they're going to keep her. Don't know. She doesn't want to go up yet. But she's getting real close to it. And I don't know if I can run this without her. You know, it's a two-man show. You know, minimum two-man show. And I don't have anyone else to help me other than Morgan, and Morgan cannot run the gate. And she definitely can't work inside either. She'd end up getting hit. So, you know, I don't know what to do. So, we're hoping she'll get better. Usually she has these attacks, and she has one day, like today, and then the next day it's a little bit better, and the day after that she's better and good to go. You know, it takes a couple days to recover. So we're hoping it's one of those, and not one that's going to put her in the hospital for a week or two. So, but anyway, I'm going to leave things kind of there for now. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I am concerned. I probably would have got the courtyard done today, but I've been doing other things to help her out and tend to her. So, but anyway, we're almost done with the build. I got lights in here to do and fine tuning. So, and Morgan will be helping out a lot with the cleaning and what have you. So that'll help a bit. Hey, at least we rescued the cornhole. Stay spooky. Stay toxic.